How good is Magic the Gathering cardstock? I'm going to share my opinion with you from a cardist perspective. Anyways, first things first, we got to know who prints these cards. With my basic research, I learned Cardamundi prints these cards. And they print the cards in the they print the English cards in the United States. So since we know that, a little bit about Cardamundi. They're a playing card game manufacturer. They print and make game stuff. I grew up with Cardamundi. I've known them for growing up. They just seemed generic to me, but that's because, I would run into these cards. These are Cardamundi brand cards at like the dollar store. But I guess they print cards in China. These cards aren't worth talking about, though. They're not very good. I grew up with Ace around. This is a brand new box, if you're familiar with Ace. The box didn't look like this when I was growing up. These cards were printed here in the United States at the Dallas plant, I'm assuming. And they're alright. I don't think they're as good as bicycle cards, and that's strictly for the cutting. I think the edges, the way they cut the cards, aren't very good. And then you got Cardamundi's premium cards like this one. And they're printed at Europe. It says made in Europe here. They're Belgian plant. And these cards are night and day difference. These cards are incredible. And then another Cardamundi deck produced by Shinlim, the Regalia. I don't know which plant this is printed from. All I know is Cardamundi printed these cards. And it's super high-end, super premium. Feels good. Incredible. So, with that said, I know Cardamundi varies. It just depends on the customer who's paying for the print job. And that pretty much determines where it's printed and how good quality it is. So with that said, Wizard of the Coast is the owner of Magic the Gathering. And this is the cardstock they picked. A little bit about the cardstock. Out of the box, it does have like a matte feeling to it. They're not glossy. There might be some semi-gloss, and then there's some textured sometimes. But these are designed just to be played with. Most people play with their Magic the Gathering cards and shuffle it like this. I decided to take it to the next level, since I know they're a playing card manufacturer, and actually handle these cards like regular playing cards to see what it was like. So, I know there's a running joke that counterfeit Magic the Gathering cards have better stock than them. These are actually real Magic the Gathering cardstock. So, here, let me prove it real quick. So, light test shines through. Depends on the artwork in the front. I don't have a strong enough light. And then here's some other Magic cards pretty much. Shines through. And for reference here, I do have a counterfeit card, just so you know. See, no shine, doesn't shine through at all. Shines through. Nothing. See, nothing. Alright, so this is just a welcome deck. Nobody's counterfeiting these cards. It's just regular bulk. when you get them out of the box, I'll show you what it's like out of the box. This was just played with a little bit. They don't really slide that well. And that's actually a good thing as far as like when you're playing, when you shuffle the cards and you want your opponent to cut the deck, you don't want the card to slide around everywhere. So that's a good thing. The finish and stock is designed for card games. And then, just depending on how it's cut, will determine its fanning ability. These cards don't fan very well. I'm compensating with skill here. But they're fine when you pressure fan it. And then over time, I came to this result after a lot of playing with it. And I'm actually impressed with the fanning ability. Now, these don't fan as good as Cardamundi's playing cards, just in general. Playing cards spread better. That's what it is. But for a gaming card stock, these actually fan better than Yu-Gi-Oh cards, for example. And then, as far as the stock goes and springiness, it's good. It's got a lot of snap. The edges, the Pharaoh faces side down. See? And you could actually get really good Pharaohs with them. What's really cool about Magic the Gathering is it actually has a really cool back design. Here's what the faces look like when you fan them. So it's pretty cool. But I guess the main issue is over a period of time, from what I'm told, these cards warp. I do have a game night box that I haven't touched in months, and everybody's touched these, like all my family members. As far as warpage goes, I haven't really noticed any, except for this one deck here. This one's like bowed pretty much. But that could probably be because my family members, they shuffle the cards this way also. My family loves Magic, and we just treat it like another card game, pretty much. We treat it like a board game. We're all casuals, pretty much. So, my opinion on Magic the Gathering card stock. For cardistry, no. It's going to be a no for me, as far as cardistry goes. But you can make it work. I don't see any reason why you would use these instead of just regular playing cards. But yeah, these are not bad at all. I think a huge part of it is I played with these cards a lot, and I've formed it to my hands. These cards are like warmed up to my hands. So I'm making these cards do things that you wouldn't normally be able to do out of the box. Because of my constant shuffling, it got rid of the textures, if there was some texture, on the cards. And yeah, as far as chipware, you know, things with black decks, these have the normal problem with chipware. All my corners have white specks on it. But that's normal because cardstock is white and these are black edges. That's just how ink is. So there's that. So do I think they have good cardstock? As far as card games go, And I'm only going to compare it to like Uno and Yu-Gi-Oh! And let's say Naruto and Card Fight Vanguard. A bunch of these other card games. I don't think their card stock's all that bad. I hear their overseas card stock is really, really good. I'm really curious about it, but I don't have any foreign language cards. But as far as just playing with it, the way I'm playing with it, it's great. As far as collection-wise, I hear they warp. These are old cards, so I guess they don't count. I guess modern-day cards warp. I don't know anything about that because I just play with pre-constructed cards, and there was only a little bit of warping. And I know how to store my cards. I have a huge collection, like over 200 decks of playing cards, and I store them properly. So I don't notice an issue. That's my opinion on Magic the Gathering card stock.